want to hear some ghost stories? All right. Well, I've written a couple books on them, so I've got a couple. They're all here from Oklahoma City, which you might think, that's weird. Oklahoma City's not been around too long. But we made international news in 2002 down at Puckett Salvage Yard, where this lady was filmed walking around the car. So they rushed out there to check her out and found no one. And then later, when they played the film back, it turned out to be a lady who had passed away in a car wreck there a couple of weeks ago. So it's very strange and very spooky. Which I like these spooky stories, and I'm always collecting them and finding out more and more. And it seems like everybody's got a story, which here in Oklahoma City, we're just over 100 years old. We're kind of a unique history. We got started with this land run in 1889. Before that, we had a population of a couple of dozen people who lived at the train station working for Santa Fe Railroad. But then by evening of April 22nd, 1889, we had a population of over 10,000 people. Lots of people, very energetic with lots and lots of big ideas. Which one of the guys with really big ideas and actual money to back it up was this fellow, Mr. Overholser. So Henry Overholser, you might know his son, Ed Overholser, who later became governor and has a lake named after him. But the senior Overholser, he had money, so he started building everything he could. Overholser Opera House, Overholser Hotel, and then out there on Northwest 15th, way outside of town, was his Overholser Mansion. So to this day, weird things seem to go around on there. They've got a lot of poltergeist activity going on in the kitchen and the basement. Strange things move around when nobody's around there in the coach house. But most famously, up on the second floor, you see the shadow of this lady who's believed to be Mrs. Overholser walking around looking through the windows. And they say she'll stop and stare to the south toward downtown as if she's waiting for Mr. Overholser to come home. Spookiest thing, though, is up on the third floor. They have a big ballroom up there, which old house, all the heat's going to go to the third floor, and it's hot and gross. But as soon as you come toward the nursery, ice cold. Just you get the sensation of, don't come here. So I guess there are nurses still working, too, keeping the kids safe. Another cool building's been around for a long time. We've got Mount St. Mary's High School, which built in 1903 after the nuns came here to start teaching school after the Sacred Heart mission burned down. And it's changed a little bit today. Now they have a fence, but everything else is pretty much exactly the same. And other similar things up on the top floor, which used to be dormitories and now is all set aside for storage. They have a lady walking around in full habit, this nun who's still keeping an eye on the place, keeping kids in line. They take tours up there during their summer programs, and people don't want to walk in back because she'll apparently grab you if you start lingering a little bit too much back. Or on Film Row, the Film Exchange here in Oklahoma City, which one of the few film exchanges around the nation still existing. Everybody come here to places like Paramount Pictures and see all the new movies that are coming out and decide whether you want to buy them. And you can still go, which is now Noir, and in the back watch the movies. But as you're sitting there in the theater watching the film, you might turn around and look back toward the projection booth and see a face there watching. Which not even during movies. I talked to a guy who was there putting up a banner one time and turned around, saw this face, and nearly fell off the ladder. So he ran back there to go see if it was some hobo or something, and it was totally deserted. But later they were able to match the face. It's Mr. Godwin. He worked there as projectionist, janitor, just anything that he could do to contribute to film. Actually invented a couple of things and has patents on them. And I guess he likes film so much that he's still sticking around. Or the governor's mansion, which a lot of spooky things happen there. It's going to eat up all the time, people. All right. But most famously, there on the stairs, there's said to be the ghost of Governor Alfalfa Bill Murray, our governor from the late 20s to the 30s. He's either going up or going down. You get tripped on that third step. And Mrs. Keating herself went out and measured to make sure it's not off balance. It is totally fine, but I guess he's keeping an eye on folks and tripping them. Most famously, of course, we got the Skirvin Hotel downtown. Lots and lots of spooky stories there. Most famously, on the sports page, all the NBA players who come to play the Thunder, they're hosted there up on the 10th floor, which used to be the top floor, and have the ghost of Effie approach them, which she's described as a pretty naked lady who will jump into the shower with you or climb into bed with you, which spooks them out pretty bad. But she's not alone. They've also got Pearl Mesta, one of Mr. Skirvin's daughters, who's wandering around through the hotel. But my favorite story is Mr. Skirvin himself. When they shut everything down for renovations in 2008, they cut all the electricity to the building, but the light over his chair in the lobby where he liked to hold court wouldn't go out. So very, very strange, yeah. And those are all stories here in Oklahoma City, which you never would think, but as I've learned, you never know what's out there until you start asking questions. So start talking to people. Once you get the ball of ghost stories going, you'll never know what people are going to say. This is a strange thing that happened to me.